You know what? This is really, really embarrassing. You have two embarrassing blowouts. And from the time that I looked at, well, the playoff announcement and I saw that Tulane would play Ole Miss and James Madison would end up playing Oregon in the very first round, I knew that this was going to happen. And anyone who knows college football knew this was going to happen. And it is embarrassing. Ole Miss went in and absolutely throttled Tulane. Right now, James Madison and Oregon is still playing. They are still playing. So this game, some things are going to change. James Madison's not going to win it, but right now, just to give you a little, insight of exactly when I'm actually recording this video, going live, excuse me. Oregon is up 48-13 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter. That's right. 48 points, and the third quarter's not even over. And I just want to say this to Tulane and to James Madison. I'm actually not dogging you here. If I'm a Tulane or James Madison fan, I know I'm probably looking at me right now going, dude, you're such a jerk. Listen, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You're not a bad football team at your level of football. But if we look at both of these teams, we look at their schedules, we look how they performed throughout this season, we knew that this was going to happen. And when the college football playoff, everyone was vying for it to be expanded from 4 teams to how many teams you could actually get in. I was one of the guys who wanted 8. I wanted 8 teams. But it was actually expanded to 12 teams. Why did we want the playoff to be expanded? The general thought was that there are going to be some teams who maybe didn't start off so strong earlier on, but they really hit their stride in the latter part of the season. And we play this whole game of what if one of those teams could have gotten to the playoff? They were playing so well, they could maybe contend for a national championship. That was the common thought. But that's not what happened. It didn't happen this year. It kind of didn't happen last year, but this year, it's just not good at all. Now, I know someone right now is muttering or maybe screaming at the screen, well, pal, that's the rules, and which I rebut, then you change the rules. The rules were supposed to set up teams that were actually going to be competitive to actually compete for a national championship, actually make a run, a realistic run within the college football playoff, and place them in said 12 teams. I mean, good Lord, how many more spaces do we need to expand this thing before we kind of get it right? Again, James Madison and Tulane, I get it. I know that someone out there is probably saying to me right now, well, at least we can put that banner up in our stadium. We went to the college football playoff. I don't know if you want that or not. Because what happens when future generations looks at you and says, hey, I see you went to the college football playoff. Man, that must have been awesome. How did you do? Well, it was an honor to be there. I didn't ask you if it was an honor to be there. How'd you do? Well, I mean, am I catching you in a lie or something? Why don't you just go ahead? Well, we lost by 30. Oh, really? That's embarrassing. Sounds like someone made a poor decision by inviting you to come to the college football playoff. Again, I don't blame Tulane and James Madison. I look at the committee and I look at whoever made the rules and said, you know better. You actually know better. You had to have known better. Whoever advised this, I don't care if Nick Saban himself helped advise on this. I don't care if name someone you highly respect in football said this is what we should do. They were wrong. And these scores prove it. They don't supposed to be there. man, it would have been nice if Tulane would have played, I don't know, someone kind of like Ole Miss during the season, and we would have got a feel for how they would have actually responded against a top-tier football team. Oh, wait a second. That happened. Back in September the 20th, game number 4 for Ole Miss. They played Tulane. They beat them 45-10. Let's take a look at Tulane's schedule. All right, they won their conference. Listen, that's actually good. Again, I'm not bombing both of these schools. I'm really irritated with the committee that they could have done. They know better. Let's look at Northwestern. They beat Northwestern. Tulane beat Duke. Okay. You get hammered by the best team you play all season, and you don't lose by 2 touchdowns. You lose by 35 flipping points. You lost to UTSA by 22 points. I didn't know UTSA was that great. They beat you by more than 3 touchdowns. I mean, the committee knows better. Well, in the rules, again, I respond with the rules should have actually been tailored to be a little more selective than this. Because right now, Oregon looks like they're about to score again, and that will put the score in the 50s. That's embarrassing. That, by the way, that's not fair to JMU. That's not fair to Tulane. I'm sorry. There's another team right now who is 100%. I feel bad for them, and it's Notre Dame. Now, let's go ahead and get some of the reasons out of the way why people don't like Notre Dame. They have been shown preferential treatment throughout the years. They have been overranked. They have received special treatment nonstop. Let's go back to, I think it was 1995. They were 6-4-1 and somehow ended up in the Fiesta Bowl. Everyone knew they were not supposed to be in the Fiesta Bowl, but they made it, and they got rocked out of the stadium. I think they were playing Colorado. I mean, got murdered. So if you're like Notre Dame, you get sick and tired of Notre Dame and the special treatment that they've received all these years. Okay, I get it. Maybe you're one of those people that was alive back in the days when there was only 3 channels on television. And your favorite team never played on there, no matter how good they were. But you know what? Notre Dame was one of the very few teams who was shoved down your throat, and you just don't like them for that reason. Okay, I get it. But if your reason, and one more reason, I can't leave this one out. Well, they should need to join the conference. Why should they join a conference? Why? Vanderbilt should be in the college football playoff more than Tulane or James Madison, and they're in a conference, and they actually had a really good result, and it was a historic year for them. Being in a conference didn't help them, now did it? It didn't. Duke went and won their conference championship. They're not in the college football playoff. Joining a conference didn't help them. Oh, another reason why you don't want to join a conference. Just in case your conference and the powers that be decide they're going to sign a contract that's not for the betterment of your school, but it's for the betterment of the conference, and now you're stuck. That would never happen. So no matter your reasons for disliking Notre Dame, it actually does. Unless you just want to say, I don't like them and I could care less what right from wrong is. Okay, all right. At least say that part. But if we're talking about the right thing, Notre Dame is better than Tulane. Notre Dame is better than James Madison. Notre Dame, and I know I'm going to catch some flack for this one, but I really don't care. Alabama, though they won last night, Alabama lost 2 games in the regular season. One was to head scratcher how they lost to Florida State, got drugged by Florida State. Well, they beat Georgia. Yeah. But they lost to Oklahoma. All right, we'll forgive them for that. They lost by 3 touchdowns in their conference championship. Hey, look, folks, I'm one of those people who I agree. If someone goes to their conference championship and they lose it and they play a really good game, don't punish them for going to their conference championship. They got drugged in their conference championship, lost by 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. And that call on 4th down and 2 at about their own 16 against Georgia with about 8 minutes left was one of the poorest play calls and decisions I've seen by a coaching staff in quite a while. They lost by 3 touchdowns. Sorry, they shouldn't have been in there. Somehow they can be placed in the college football playoff. Tulane and James Madison somehow gets in. Well, it's the rules. You need to change it again. And on top of that, Notre Dame sitting out. I'm sorry, folks. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Notre Dame is better than a lot of the schools that they're better than Tulane. They're definitely better than James Madison. We saw the fight today that happened with Texas A&M. We saw the fight today with Texas A&M and Miami. So I'm just going to leave that there. But I want to tell you this: this whole thing of the committee making these choices and the rules need to be amended. Then we've already messed this up, and this is a 12-team playoff. This is only year two, and we've already messed up the rules. Who's doing this? How much money are they being paid? Who rigged the system already? Going into a 12-team playoff. I mean, can we not get anything right? Again, this is not fair to Tulane or James Madison. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it can be done right. Well, it's tough decisions. Well, we can start by the easy decisions. Tulane, who lost by 35 to Ole Miss, shouldn't be in the college football playoff. Tulane, who lost by 22 points to UTSA, shouldn't be in the college football playoff. And James Madison, look at their record. Look how they performed. Great, they won the Sun Belt. Great, they ran Coastal Carolina into the ground so bad that they fired their coach. Great, that's wonderful. What's the score right now while the game is going on? Oh, James Madison just scored a touchdown. Now they're only down by 28 points. Only down by 4 touchdowns. Yeah, definitely the reason that we expanded the college football playoff to 12 teams. Thank you, America. We did it. Vanderbilt, nowhere to be found. Notre Dame, nowhere to be found. I would feel better putting BYU in this thing after getting drugged in their conference championship than this. Again, Tulane and James Madison, no offense, my friend, but this is not good for you either. Getting beat by 30 and so on points in your college football playoff. You can place the banner up, but don't you ever talk about what actually happened there, because right now the other teams chopped your head off and punted it. And that's not a good look. The committee or the rules did not work in your favor. I'm sorry about that. Folks, let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this? Are you fine with someone getting in and losing by 30 points? And it's obvious that was what was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. Well, Bobby Dodd must have been drinking that day when he said what he said, or people are drinking when they're interpreting what he's saying. He's saying that you've got to go out and play the game, because if the whole statement of anyone could beat anyone that day, I don't completely agree with that. The message behind it is that you have to go out and play the game. You have to go out and give your best effort. But if I go and get a D2 school and I bring them in to play a D1 school, they're losing, and they're losing every time. Nice quote, terrible application. I'm going to let y'all go. You take care of yourself. And hopefully this can get fixed, because this is not helping anyone. And this is not why the playoff was expanded. Y'all take care of yourself.